Thank you, Doug Fine. Such a pleasure being up here and introducing all these incredible speakers, you know, and we got a whole lot of movers, shakers, history makers, and risk takers up here making things happen. And one of them is one of our proud sponsors for many years, and a great friend to all of us. Rick Steves writes European travel guidebooks and hosts travel shows on public television and public radio. He's been very outspoken on the need for Americans to fit better into our planet by broadcasting his perspectives through travel. He's an active member of the Lutheran Church. He's a board member of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, NORML. And Rick has provided his local YWCA with a 24-unit apartment building to house homeless mothers, because that's the kind of guy he is. Give it up to a tremendous advocate, one of the people responsible for you having legal marijuana in this state. Travel writer, TV guru, travel genius, Rick Steves.
Thank you, thank you. What a beautiful day, nice to be here. As Vivian said, I'm a travel writer. I go to a lot of very nice places. That's my work, and for me, high is a place, right? And I feel very strongly that our government has no business telling us we can't go to a certain place without a good reason, and there's no good reason we can't go to that place called high. Now we know that. That's been my theme here for a decade of talking this up. And we proved that politically 2 years ago when we won the election with I-502. But as you know, this is just the beginning, and we're in a very long struggle to take apart prohibition one state at a time, and it needs patience and it needs finesse. You know, we did alcohol back in the 30s, and it was complicated. When the federal government makes a prohibition, the federal government doesn't take it down. It has to be taken down one state at a time. And with alcohol back in the 30s, first New York said, you can drink beer. You can't drink hard liquor and you can't brew it. And then other states said you can drink beer, and then they said you can drink hard liquor, and finally they said you can even brew it at home. Well, we're on that same evolutionary track right now. 2 states out of 48 have a way where we can actually smoke marijuana as adults responsibly as a civil liberty, and this is great news. Now, what we're up against is, we're the coolest corner of this country, and our government has spent $1 billion wiring the brains of everybody else to think marijuana is an evil weed, and we gotta redo that. And we need to do it carefully, and one great thing when you're talking against lies is track records. In the old days, we didn't have track records. Now we've got track records. Portugal legalized all drugs 10 years ago. Amsterdam has not arrested a pot smoker for 25 years, and for 2 years, marijuana has been legal in Colorado and in Washington. Is marijuana a gateway drug? No. In Portugal, they legalized it, and it didn't make more people use hard drugs. As a matter of fact, in the 10 years that pot has been legal in Portugal, hard drug use has gone down 50%, as people who understand drug policy would know. Do more people smoke when it's legal? No. They just come out of the bushes instead of doing it as criminals. In the Netherlands, they know that it's better to be able to buy marijuana legally than from criminals on the streets who have a vested interest in getting you hooked on something more profitable and more addictive. In Copenhagen a couple of years ago, they rolled back on the coffee shops and in the pot sales shacks in Christiania. Suddenly, gangs were selling pot on the streets of Copenhagen, and the first time in memory, people were getting killed. There was murders on the streets for turf wars of drug dealers. In Amsterdam, they tried to push back the coffee shops. The federal government said, roll it back. The mayors put down their foot and said, no, we want coffee shops, because if we don't have coffee shops, we'll have criminals in the streets. That's what we're learning here. That's why Pete Holmes is on board, and that's why all over this country people are realizing the illogic of our war on marijuana. For 2 years, Colorado and Washington have been working on this. DUIs have not gone up, they've gone down. Crime has gone down, use has not gone up. The only thing that's gone up is taxes, tax revenue. And that's not a bad thing, because that money was going to crime, organized crime, and to the sellers on the streets. So this is an exciting fight we're in. I understand I-502 is not perfect, but it is an exciting leap forward. 2 states have legalized, 48 to go. I call them the lower 48. We've got to work on the lower 48 now, and the whole nation is looking at us here in Washington and Colorado, waiting for a misstep. It's very important that we are responsible. It's critical that we have smart and clear parameters and that we give the feds no excuse to roll back, because if there's one unfortunate incident, you know the fear, you know the power of media, and the whole country's going to jump on it and we will slip back. We are very, very excited about the momentum, but we need your help. That's why I've been a board member and a paying member of Normal for the last decade. I would challenge you to get involved and to take advantage of this momentum and help us out. I'll be going down to Oregon next month and giving 15 talks in 7 days all over that state, explaining to people why they should do what we've done in Washington here, and then we're going to move across the country. We need your help. Hempfest is more than pot. Hempfest is a celebration of civil liberties, and that's why I'm here. I'm in favor of civil liberties. I am a hardworking, tax-paying, church-going, kid-raising American, and after a long day of work, if I want to go home and smoke a joint and just look at the fireplace for 3 hours, that's my civil liberty. Is that right? That's right. We know that because we are Washington State and we have made the responsible adult use of marijuana legal. The rest of the country's going to follow us. We need to get involved and make that happen. As I like to say, happy travels, even if you're just staying home, okay? Thank you.